that favorite time of yours again, right? The mental break time. A short one today, and with apologies to the ladies, but this is just a joke, right? Jokes should be taken in that capacity that they are jokes. You see, there is a difference generally in the Eastern and Western societies, right? Eastern societies, Gulf, Arab, India, Pakistan, Eastern societies, and the Western, Europe, America, and so on. Even we are now changing a lot, but for a long time, marriages in the East were like arranged marriages, right? They are arranged through the family. Your mother finds somebody, your sister finds somebody, the families talk, and then the marriages are arranged, and generally you do not know the girl from before. It is changing here also, of course. Now many times you are friends and then you start to marry and so on, but generally, at least till some years ago, marriages were arranged here. You did not know your wife before, and then later on, so now you have gone for a higher degree to England or America, and you explain this to somebody, and the Englishman says, how can you marry a woman before knowing her? See, they spend a lot of time together and then they marry. So he's saying, how could you marry a woman before knowing her? Now you start smiling. You have now been there for some time. You know a lot of English girls and women. So you answer, how could you marry a woman after knowing her? Joke is over. Let us now look at one or two more topics about the fluid side of the sand mold. And please don't read again, just the heading. If you can, do not read below. The heading is fluidity of molten metal, right? What is fluidity? If I ask you, the property of being fluid, right? So yes, you have a general idea. If a liquid can move more easily, it has higher fluidity, right? If a liquid can move more easily, it has higher fluidity. So because there is a molten metal, it will be poured into the sprue, and it has to flow down the sprue and through the gates and the runners and into the die or mold cavity. So therefore fluidity is very important. So again, without reading, now can you think of some factors that affect the fluidity of the molten metal? It is molten metal here. It is not water or some other oil or something. It is molten metal. So think of a few factors that will affect the fluidity. Yes, you can say thickness, right? If it is too thick, it will be difficult to flow. So actually, you are rather saying viscosity rather than thickness, isn't it? Because otherwise you can say thickness, you can say density, it is very heavy, it is difficult to flow. But the one property that you know is viscosity. Viscosity of a liquid. If a liquid has high viscosity, it is difficult to flow. If a liquid has less viscosity, it is easier to flow. So you see, you can think similarly. Any other factor? Yes, if somebody is saying temperature, you see, something is molten. If it is at a higher temperature, mostly it will be easier to flow, right? Mostly it will be easier to flow, isn't it? And so on. Now, any other factor which will help or hinder the movement of the liquid metal. Yes, if somebody is saying friction of the sand particles in the sprue and gate and runner, right? So yes, friction in the sprue or any other part of the sand mold. So if we can reduce the friction, it will be easier to flow, and so on, right? So I try to do this with you, and I'll keep on doing that. That you see, if there is something to understand, then rather than being told, if you think about it yourself, then you will come up with most of the points. So let us see here characteristics of the molten metal affecting fluidity. Viscosity. Surface tension is, of course, right, not very obvious, but yes, you understand that if something has a higher surface tension, it will be difficult to flow and so on. Inclusions. If the molten metal is pure, it is one thing. If there are some impurities or inclusions in it, it may not be so easy to flow. And solidification pattern of the alloy. This is tough, but we have talked a bit earlier. If it cools very quickly, it has already started to solidify, then the flow of the rest of the metal will become very difficult. So yes, it is directly related. So these were properties of the metal that relate to fluidity. Now, casting parameters related to the mold and so on, which affect fluidity. Mold design, of course, right? If you design the sprue and the gate and the runners in a proper way, fluidity will be helped. If the design is not so good for fluidity, then it will be difficult for the metal to flow. Mold material and its surface characteristics. Of course, which type of sand are you using, how much surface roughness it has will affect it. Degree of superheat. They are calling it casting parameters. This degree of superheat or the amount of temperature we mentioned in the molten metal itself. So this degree of superheat could be here, characteristics of the molten metal. They are saying casting parameters because how much superheating you do is part of the casting parameters, but this is the molten metal. Now, what is the word superheat? What is the word superheat? Not the heat, superheat. So it is written, increment of temperature above the alloy's melting point. You see, this metal alloy melts at 900, but we have heated it to 1000. So that 100 degrees is the superheat. The amount of temperature above the alloy's melting point is the superheat. And we do this specifically, otherwise we could heat it only till 900 and it will all melt. But when we superheat, first of all, we can melt it more quickly, which is important for production purposes. And second, the extra amount of heat will increase the fluidity of the material. Rate of pouring, at which rate you pour, right? Of course, if you pour it very slowly, it will go slowly. And finally, the heat transfer. Because you are pouring a very hot liquid inside the mold, and how quickly the heat transfer happens will affect the fluidity. So again, right, I am reminding you that if you think about a certain thing, you have some basic science background, you have done general science, you have done physics, you have done chemistry, you have done some courses in engineering also by this time. So with that background of being an engineer and a science student, if you think on a certain given physical situation, you can yourself think of some of the physical factors, some of the mechanical factors, some of the scientific factors which affect it. So this was one more topic, because this is important for casting people, that what is the fluidity of the metal that they are going to cast. Heat transfer, right? So this is now the heat part. This is the heat part. Until now, everything was the fluids part, isn't it? The Bernoulli equation, the continuity equation, Reynolds number, fluidity, all were related to the fluid part of sand casting or casting. Now the heat transfer part. This is important. We just told you at the end of fluidity that heat transfer is important, but it is important for many other things also. So temperature distribution. If this is the mold, right, and this side is air, then this is the side of the mold that is open to the air, isn't it? The air, it is open to the air. Okay. This is the liquid metal. This is the liquid metal. So vertical side is temperature and horizontal side is distance. So originally there is totally molten metal. Originally there is at a very, you see, this is the melting temperature. So if it is here, then some superheat is there, and this molten thing is poured into the pouring basin, and then it goes inside the sprue and so on. So the temperature from the superheat is coming to the melting point. Once it goes below the melting point, it starts to solidify, isn't it? Once it goes below, it starts to solidify. And during solidification, the temperature is dropping because of the heat transfer through the mold and so on. And here it has solidified, and this delta T metal mold interface. Here it is, right, metal mold interface, the interface between the mold and the metal, and then it still drops down through the mold. It still drops down. And ultimately it comes to room temperature. And this is the mold air interface, isn't it? Mold air interface. So overall, if you look at it, there is a molten liquid which is at superheat at some temperature above the melting point. It is poured through the sprue. Ideally, it should remain liquid, and when it goes through the sprue, through the gate, through the running system, and until it fills completely the mold cavity and starts to rise in the riser. Ideally, until now, until it has gone some distance into the riser, it is all liquid. Some temperature drop is happening, isn't it? It is being poured, so some temperature is lost to the air. It is in contact with the sprue wall and the gates and the runners, so some temperature is lost through the sand mold. It is inside the mold cavity and so on, some temperature is lost through the sand mold. So already some temperature is dropping down, but until the liquid metal comes up on the riser, it should not start to solidify, because if it solidifies before that, then maybe it will not fill the mold cavity completely, and maybe it will not come outside into the riser. So you will never know whether the mold cavity is completely full or not, and it will block the rest of the metal if it solidifies earlier. That is why this superheat is critical. If it is only directly at the melting temperature, then as soon as the temperature goes below melting, it starts to solidify, isn't it? So therefore, the design of the mold, the sand that you use, the binding agents and chemicals that you use with the sand, the design of the sprue and the gate and the runner system, how much superheat you should have, all of that has to be very carefully designed by engineers who have a lot of experience with designing the mold and working with this particular alloy. I keep on repeating with you that, you see, at a time when you are a student, you are being prepared, say, even if you are just mechanical engineer, you are not industrial or somebody else, chemical, but just the mechanical engineer is being prepared for any type, hundreds of different types of industries that you could go to. So you are doing 30, 40 different science and engineering subjects. But when you join a job and your job is in a foundry where they are doing metal casting, right? Then they are involved with only a few alloys. Any specific foundry is not doing hundreds of alloys. They are doing only a few. So very quickly you are working and you are being trained only for a few alloys and their melting and other characteristics and the type of molds and so on that are there. So you can become very good very soon. Right now, of course, we cannot be champions of everything. So you know a little about sand casting by now. We will learn more, but expert level will come when you actually join there or you take a higher course.